Hi everyone, Leslie O'Leary here. Your art, your voice. So, what is this about? Well, I would say maybe 18 months, maybe 2 years ago, I came up with this concept because I wanted to create an online workshop. And so I started thinking about it, and I have oodles and oodles and oodles of notes to put together to create something. But before that, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could just jump in here and answer some questions that you guys are asking of me? And you know how much I love to share my journey and what I do and my philosophy with you. So I thought this would be a nice way to at least get started. So I have the first question. So let's go to that now. Statement, having multiple projects in your head. You know, this is actually a blessing to have that. Think of how many people who just get stranded, who get just stagnant, and who get really afraid of that whole thing. So I'm one of those people that has so many projects going around in my head. So there's two things I do. Number one is I get them out of my head, because if you keep them in your head, you'll just keep circling back and back, and it just kind of takes up a lot of space and a lot of frustration. So what I do is behind my screen here, I have two large whiteboards, and I have something called the brain dump. And my brain dump can either be words, or since I'm a visual person, I will usually scribble out what I want it to be. So I'm just going to give you a sample here. So it's nothing really fancy. This is the goldfish that I'm working on. So this is just a pencil drawing that I did, and then I can alter it as I'm going along in my design. But I also get it up on my brain dump, and then I will take it from there and put it on my planning. That's my planning page. So get it out of your head. That is the best thing that you can do. So sticking to one through completion. You know what? I do not stick to one. I have so many different things that I am doing. I'm doing my online classes, I have my online yoga classes, I have my dog classes for everybody, and then I also have my one of a kind, not to mention a few other things like the Art Connection Summit. So there are many things that I have going on, and so I can't really stick to one thing depending on time. So what do I do? On my other whiteboard up there, I put categories under which everything. So I have up there, I have classes, I have the Art Connection Summit, I have projects that I want to do. That's kind of the brain dump. And then I have a couple of other things up there too. So, and as I start working, what I do is I put things together. So this is the goldfish. So this will all sit in here, so I can pull it out when I want to work on it. I can put it all back when I need to jump into something else, because I will go from, on my work table, I'll go from one of a kind to my classes, and I jump back and forth a lot. And then on the computer, you know, I have things categorized in the computer also. So don't worry about sticking to one thing. As a creative, it's pretty much impossible to do, but make certain that you group your things together, keep things categorized. So in the circle, and just to cover everything, we have having multiple projects in our head. Remember, just put them up, brain dump, get them out of your head, draw them out, write them out, just get them out of your head, and then sticking to one project through all the way to completion. Don't worry about that. It will all come. So let's go to the second question. Fear caused by perfectionism. I think the key word here is fear, fear of the unknown. And as we have been little children in our life, if you remember back, you would run and you would jump in puddles, and you would look at the clouds and you could make little animals of the cloud, and we just drew and we colored and we did whatever we want without fear of anybody judging us. But as we age and as we grow older, we have found the outside world. So we've lost our inside world, and we depend on the outside world and what they think of us. So really, perfectionism is the ability to maybe step back a little bit. Don't think of the end project. Think of the journey. Think about playing through this whole thing. If you can develop the sense of play, there won't be such an urgency to it, and there won't be such a weight on your shoulders about it. So it's just learning to step back and take a breath a little bit. There's also another part of this, which I'm going to jump into the second question and the third one. Not starting once you have the materials at hand for a project, in other words, procrastination, or fear of wasting or ruining the materials. Again, I'm coming back to play, but there's also something more with that, and that is to have a game plan. And so I showed you my little drawing that I did. So this was my game plan, and you can see that I've kind of changed out some things and added some things, and and this is my little scribble page. So this is where I can make all the things that are in my head without actually going to the materials first. And the thing is too, what if you screw up? What if you do? It is not a big deal. We are not perfect, and the creative process is not perfect. And if you remember in one of my blogs, I showed the pants and the little cuffs that I made for the goldfish. Well, those little cuffs, let me see if I thought maybe I don't have them here, but those little cuffs were made out of a vintage kimono fabric that I only have a little teeny bit of, but it wasn't speaking for this project. It's okay. Take a breath. It's all fine. And so the big thing is to have your game plan. So what I do is I have my basic game plan, and then I pull out all my fabrics that I think I want to go within that project. So I have my game plan, and then I have my players in the game plan. So that's all my fabrics and that type of thing that I'm going to do. And then as I go along, I will be able to adapt. So the big thing is being prepared. So, and I find that a lot of times we think about play as just running out there and, playing on the swings. But you have to think about this. If you back it up a little bit and you think about this, going out and playing on the swings, there was somebody that designed that whole swing set, somebody that figured out how the swing could go back and forth. And then you can bring in the play. So think about, you need to be a little bit of an engineer. So you need to plan out what you're doing so you can be free to play. I hope this is helping. I'm going to give you also another thing just to think about. And this is something that I shared with my yoga students this weekend. And we were talking about mindfulness and how to do this. So my analogy that I'm going to use is a skier wanting to ski through the woods down the hill. So if you tell yourself as the skier, I don't want to hit a tree. I don't want to hit a tree. I don't want to hit a tree. As you're skiing down the hill, your focus is on the trees and what's going to happen. You'll probably hit a tree. But if you're at the top of the hill and you say, show me the path, show me the way to go, then the trees will fall away, and then you'll be able to see the clear path. So kind of the same way with art. If you step back and you think, I don't want to screw up this material. This is precious. This is that. You bring in that focus into it. But if you can relax back a little bit and just say, show me the way to go. And I really find that when I'm working, I ask ahead, what should I do next? Where should I go? And that voice will come to me. And if I try to control it, then that's when everything gets all messed up. So I'm hoping this helps you guys with your questions. And this is my first attempt at this, so stick with me. I know we'll get better at all of this as we go along. I'm really excited to bring your art, your voice to you, and eventually it will be a whole online series. So until then, thanks for dropping in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.